Today we'll be sketching Florist and Nursery on Clementi Road, 388F. Let's go! This florist has been around for quite a long time. It served the Clementi area. It's probably the only one of this size and scale in the neighborhood. As you can see, it's quite a big piece of land along Clementi Road, just opposite SIM, the university. And the location is actually very easy with lots of parking, ample parking space, and so on. And I guess if you are in the neighborhood, it's always nice to support your local business. It is struggling because of the COVID-19 situation, and I think, as you can see, although it has a lot of plants and stuff, business aren't that good, and it can be a bit of a problem for some of these small business as they actually serve the local community, but they're just not getting enough to get their business going and to sustain it. So I hope that they are able to get enough business to tide over this difficult period, and I think it is going to be down to the local people supporting it here, me, a few of my sketcher friends, Patrick, Stephanie, and we were just going to start sketching, and just flying my drone, and they happened to pop by, so it's always nice to have them with me. Uncle Siu, say hi to my YouTube.
Hi.
Good job. Good morning. As you can see, the sketches are spaced out just to make sure there's no close contact. It's all social distancing. We were reminded that the maximum that we can gather is 5 in a group, and most people stay far apart from each other, and with very little mingling. And anyway, it was a very, very small group here this morning. There's just a myriad of colors and shapes and form right here, and I'm finding it difficult to pick a subject that I would want to sketch. So I think what I'll do is, as my first sketch, just to warm up, is to fall back into a familiar recipe where I'll get a reasonably good results, but without having to think too much. After all, sketching is like sport, and you do need to warm up. There's plenty of flowers to draw and paint. There's hydrangeas, there's orchids, and so on and so forth. But I will sketch the statue as my main sketch for the day. And anyway, feel a little bit lazy this morning, so I just use my favorite recipe. There's a video on this technique. There's plenty of videos. I'm just gonna put the links up there. But as usual, I use my Palomino Blackwing, and I'm just gonna lightly shade or draw the outline, broad shapes and details. Broad shape first always, and then fill in the blank. And there's a drawing instruction as well. If you have not seen that, the link is just again up here. I'll put the link up there. As you fill in the details, you see that it's easier because you've got your broad outline. In this case, the design is a triangle, the tip on top, and like a pyramid. It's a triangle design. So always do pattern, shapes, color in that order of priority. Patterns, in this case triangle, shapes are all the shapes I observe within the triangle, and later on we'll smash in the colors, and that's the basic recipe and the plan. And now we're going to start coloring it. My basic recipe is very simple. Yellow-purple combination, the opposites. Again, there's an instruction on color theory, which I'll put a link up. But the most important thing is to avoid green. And how do you avoid green? Is when you put down blue, and when you're trying to put yellow next to it, buffer it with red. That's the simplest technique I know, right? So then you avoid green. The sketch won't work if there's a patch of green in there somehow. So all kinds of combination of purple will do. French ultramarine with permanent alizarin crimson for the dark purple, and then later on you'll see I put cobalt and queen rose for the lighter version of a purple. Both are just beautiful shades of purples that you can get out of these simple 4 colors, and the colors combination are simple enough, not complicated at all. The key thing here is to keep the darks painted first, and then using very light yellow orange for the part where the sunlight hits the statue. I think this is the simplest recipe I know when it comes to sketching these sort of on location sketch. Very simple recipe, hardly go wrong. Avoid green, use red to buffer blue and yellow. Wow. So just remember, this recipe is yellow purple, and I try to avoid green because having a green in it will just kill the sketch. Well, that's something you can try. Just put a bit of green and see whether the sketch still looks as nice. Somehow our aesthetics love to have this contrast of yellow purple, and we just don't like green in the middle of it. Focus on the light and dark of the sketch. Where the sun hits, it would be yellow orange, and where the shadow lies, you will use the darker purple. In this case is French ultramarine and permanent alizarin crimson. And for the mid-tone, in other words the intermediate between the dark and light, I drop in a bit of cobalt and sometimes queen rose, and that would be, in the range of 1 to 5, a value of 3, and the dark will be in a value of 4 or 4.5, 5. Where else you can see yellow and orange will be in a value of 1 and 2. So that's what I'm thinking about while I'm doing this sketch. I'm thinking in terms of value, in terms of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm using colors to represent the various shades of values, and that's it. I'm just trying to copy values using different colors and combinations for variety. Sometimes the color doesn't matter as much. What you need to do is to get the value as accurate as you can, and then by thinking value, you're free to actually substitute the color as much as you like. In other words, it becomes colorful. When you're somewhat done with the broad shapes, you can use smaller and smaller sort of shapes with your brushes. Just remember, when you're painting, always paint from big shape to small shapes, not the other way around if you can avoid it. I mean, all of us have a tendency of going detail first and then the broad shape, but in reality it's much easier to do the big shape to the small shape, and that's always much easier to handle and to practice. So at this stage I'm thinking that the sketch is somewhat floating in the air. It's nothing to anchor it on a piece of paper. It is sort of a sticker stuck on a piece of paper. So I intend at this point to put in a bit of background, and my intention is to diffuse the background. Soft diffused background pushes the sharp edges of the statue forward, and I'm going to use a bit of a mid to dark colors, but with wet on wet technique to push the background further to the back. That's really what I'm thinking at this point, and you can see when I start doing that, and it will just create a bit more of the effect that I described. Okay, I think I'm done. Write my name, and I think this is the first sketch and maybe the last one. Let's see. So I guess that's it. That's my sketch for the day. Yeah. So after the sketch, I went around, took photographs and short clips to capture, and I did a bit more of a pen line sketches as well. There are lots of things around in the place, and I wanted to at least capture some of these footages. There's a chance that this place may not survive, So maybe these are some of the last few clips you might see of this place if the owner choose not to keep the place. Say hi to my YouTube. Sketches, social distancing, far apart, 15 meters. So it'll be a pity if this place disappeared because of the COVID situation. Well, I hope it survives because it is very quaint and it provides, it serves the local community with plants. When you want to buy plants, that's Liao, and that's Meg. I sketched her, as well as Terrace, sketched her as well, and one more, Shirley, for the road. That's it. We take out. I hope you stay safe wherever you are. Peace be with you.